you're working with, 5,000 people as opposed to the larger amounts the big leagues work with, you're kind of able to integrate with them a little bit more, kind of learn more about them and, what makes them happy. And, just for me personally, kind of being close with our season ticket holders that we've worked with for so long, and, they become like a second family to you. And it's putting a smile on their face, and then doing the same thing with our group leaders and our corporate sponsors and all of those, and making sure they have the best experience possible. And I think a lot of that is having a good relationship with them, so they're able to open up with you on feedback, both good and bad. We always want to know what we can improve. We also want to know when we knock something out of the park, no pun intended.
Hello and welcome to episode 62 of the Irish Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Rick Becker. We have been so busy lately that we're going to have 3 straight weeks with episodes, and that is so exciting. You just heard from Rob McGillick of the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, the High A affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies. Today I'll be talking to Rob and Jim McNamara from the Blue Claws about a variety of topics, including minor league baseball and Irish heritage, and not including Snooki or the situation. Thanks for being here, fellas.
It's our pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
So first of all, I have 2 people on the line, so that means I'm going to try to juggle 3 manly voices at the same time for everybody listening, but I think we can do it. First, we have Rob McGillick. Rob, please explain to everybody what you do with the Jersey Shore Blue Claws.
I'd be happy to, Rick. I'm the director of regional outreach here with the team. I'm actually in my 12th year, 11th season. Because of the COVID pandemic, we have to justify years and seasons now. So basically what I do with the team is I basically work with all the local schools, little leagues, scout organizations. I serve on a couple boards of 501c3s myself, just basically helping utilize the Blue Claws for fundraising. So basically whenever, your school or your little league or anything like that is looking to earn some extra money through the fundraising avenue, we like to consider ourselves the front porch of the community here. So we definitely try to be able to help as much as possible from a fundraising end. So that's kind of my job here. So whenever you see all the teams out on the field, kids playing catch on the field before the game, just kind of the seats kind of loaded up with the local schools and everything. That's usually me.
And Jim McNamara. Jim, why don't you talk about your responsibilities with the club?
Sure. So I've been here, to kind of equate how Rob put it, I've been here 19 seasons, 20 years. I have a very similar position to Rob. So, I work not exclusively, but primarily with nonprofit organizations in the area, in the Jersey Shore area. Setting up events and ways for they can, we can help them with fundraising, whether that's, doing an event here, donating to an auction or something that they might be running at another location. But then I wear a couple hats, that being one of them. Another one is I oversee our own charity, Blue Claws Charities. And what Blue Claws Charities does is we raise money in a number of different ways throughout the year, and we take that money and give it right back into the community in the form of a grant. So we'll do things from we'll run a 50-50 at all of our games. We have we have, whenever we do like a specialty jersey, usually we'll auction those off and those proceeds will go to Blue Claws Charities. We have one coming up for, it's a Black Panther Marvel jersey that the team's going to be wearing. That's actually live now, and the proceeds again from that will go to fund Blue Claws Charities. In the off season, we had a raffle where fans could buy tickets to be entered in to win a couple suites here at the ballpark for the season. So all of those things are what we do to raise money for the charity, and then when our season ends, usually we roll out a grant application in October, November, asking area nonprofit organizations to apply for a grant, and we select a limited number of organizations that apply and give them a grant with the funds that we raise throughout the year. So it's really kind of brings everything together of us, as Rob put it, being that front porch of the community and help out as many organizations as we can using baseball as the backdrop.
And coming up shortly, you are going to have your Irish American night. And that's why I wanted to make sure to get you on the show right away, because I wanted to promote this first and foremost. So why don't you talk about your upcoming Irish American night?
Got it up.
Yes, Irish Heritage Night. It's definitely a fun night here at the ballpark. We're going to be having the Snakes here. A very popular Irish band. They're going to be performing in the sandbar in left field. We also will have the pipes and drums out to the ballpark as well. They are going to be performing Amazing Grace on the field beforehand. They usually do a lap around the concourse as well with the pipes and drums, which is pretty awesome. Going to have the Irish step dancers here. Going to be doing a performance pregame. We'll always have obviously special food and beverage specials that day as well. So it's definitely a fun night we're looking forward to.
Yeah, it's usually one of the highlights of the season. It's been a staple here since the team started in 2001, and it's a game that everyone seems to ask us about when the schedule first comes out. Oh, when's Irish Heritage Night? I know it's what I know. I get asked that by my family every year because we usually have a big crew that comes out for it. Every night here is fun, but this one's one of our more complex ones that we have a lot of stuff going on.
Boisterous. We'll go with more boisterous nights.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So obviously we have two gentlemen who start their last names with MC, and we are probably dealing with Irish heritage as it stands. So first, Rob, why don't you go into a little bit of depth into your Irish heritage, not just necessarily where your family came from in that respect, but also how Irish heritage has shaped your life and career.
Absolutely. Well, first off, before I get into that, I don't think either one of us said it. It's Irish Heritage Night. It's June 10th.
Oh, yeah, that'd be helpful.
So that would be. So I figured that would be beneficial to just throw in there. Anyway, so yes, I'll be honest. My family, my mom always kind of told me that basically our family we're mutts. We have a bunch of different nationalities and everything within us. So the McGillick family stems from all over, obviously. Honestly, as far as how it's kind of a good question how it's kind of helped me grow in my life, my career. Honestly, it's just really the sense of family. And from my family's perspective, we all have a fantastic sense of humor. My family's always been very supportive of everything I do. And I don't really know if that's necessarily an Irish thing so much. That definitely some of the Irish traits definitely do go through my family. But as far as is how it's kind of helped me get to where I am. And maybe it's the drive, the ambition. I'm not too sure if that's the Irish or the Italian in me, but it definitely the sense of family and the support that I've always got my whole life has definitely helped.
And how about you, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, I echo a lot of that. Both of my grandfathers were born in Ireland. I think it has a lot to do with family. My dad is one of six. We all myself and my cousins kind of all grew up very, very close together, geographically. So no one really went too far away. And we've always, been very proud of our Irish heritage and very close. I have a lot of friends growing up that were, other MCs and, other last names that, I'm still very tight with these days. We get together on, St. Patty's Day, among other times. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of, family's the one word I think of, Rob kind of, hit all those notes as far as how it shaped me and, guided me to where I am today.
And now let's talk about baseball, because that's really why we're all here. And one of my favorite aspects of the game is minor league baseball. I have always tried to see a game in the local ballpark if I'm somewhere I've never been before. I try to just, even on cross-country road trips, like literally I'll just stop at about 6:30 at night if I know that the city has a minor league team, and I'll catch a game before going to a motel and getting a night's sleep before another busy day of driving the next day. It's always something that I think is such an important part of the game. And talking to gentlemen like yourselves who are responsible for making sure this clicks for bringing the atmosphere to something that is so very American in some ways.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, minor league baseball allows us to be so creative. And that is by no means a dig at Major League Baseball or anything like that. It's just that it allows us to, with a small, I don't want to say smaller fan base, but when you're working with 5,000 people as opposed to the larger amounts the big leagues work with, you're kind of able to integrate with them a little bit more, kind of learn more about them and what makes them happy. And just for me personally, kind of being close with our season ticket holders that we've worked with for so long, and they become like a second family to you. And it's putting a smile on their face, and then doing the same thing with our group leaders and our corporate sponsors and all of those, and making sure they have the best experience possible. And I think a lot of that is having a good relationship with them, so they're able to open up with you on feedback, both good and bad. We always want to know what we can improve. We also want to know when we knock something out of the park, no pun intended. So it's being close with our fans and our sponsors, and just kind of considering them friends really, and just being able to get that feedback and be able to continue to move forward and be creative. We talk about Irish Heritage Night, and we talk about these different theme nights that we had throughout the year, that it's fun. A lot of us like to consider this a family fun atmosphere that honestly, it has a baseball game going on in the background. You know what I mean? Because so many people, I spoke with a season ticket holder yesterday that was so excited about Bark in the Park, and she got their family dog she got from our Bark in the Park years ago, and she will never miss one ever again. And it's things like that. It's us working hard, finding new creative ways to put smiles on faces, and like Jimmy said before, it's kind of we're in the memory making business, so we're trying to just continue moving forward with that aspect.
Yeah, overall, the essence, minor league baseball is about community, entertainment, value. Baseball is certainly a large part of it. It's not the only part of it, and we want our team to do well, of course. But we can't control that. We can't control the teams play on the field. We're not out there as acting as hitting coaches or pitching coaches. We're the ones that are trying to fill the stands, and we do that by making sure we have good food specials, creative promotions. We're making sure we're doing our outreach work to all the different groups that we work with, to tell them about what's going on at the ballpark that's not necessarily on the baseball field. So it's so much more entertainment driven than it is baseball. We're fortunate enough to have that baseball element to it, because that is a large part of why people do come out. But we also going with, we can't control what happens on the field. We can't control when players get moved up to different levels, as common with minor league baseball. Just like any job, if you perform well, you're going to get promoted. And we may have a top prospect here for a week or 3 months, and we love to be able to talk about that player, that person, and use them as a way for people to come out. But they could be gone the next day. So we really try to make it about the whole experience, from when you pull into the parking lot till that last firework is shot at the end of the night, and what people are going to remember.
And I think that's such a great point about minor league baseball, because what happens on the field has to be secondary sometimes. I mean, maybe not secondary, but can't be the only purpose, because there are going to be times when the organization is going to need to send somebody up to another level. There's going to be rehab assignments. The team in minor league baseball is going to look different from year to year, more than any other sport, certainly more than at the major league level. I've worked at both the major league and the minor league levels, and you don't need as much going on in a major league ballpark, because there's probably going to be a couple players that have been there for 5-6 years that are fan favorites, that people are coming back to see them. That doesn't happen in the minor league level, because the good players advance, and a lot of times the players who are struggling end up getting replaced at some point. So you're not seeing the same players. You don't get that bond to individuals as much as you get the bond to the team, to the experience, to the other members of the fan base. I think minor league baseball mascots are a much bigger part of the experience than major league mascots. I mean, obviously, you're in the Phillies organization, maybe the one exception to the rule, but you have kids gravitating to the mascots as much as they gravitate towards the players. And because the players are only there for a short amount of time, they can connect much better with the kids, where one summer seems a whole lot longer when you're a kid than when you're an adult. I think all of those things really make minor league baseball so special.
They really do. And it's again, by no means discounting what is on the field too. And you mentioned the Phillies. They are a phenomenal organization to work with. We love every second of it. We really do. And the players have done, over the course of my time here, and from what I hear well before then, they've done such a phenomenal job of just integrating with what we have going on. And they wear those custom jerseys that we make to kind of adapt to the theme night. And even with a lot of the nets and stuff that get built around the ballpark, they still find a way to sign autographs. And they're helping put a smile on these people's faces as well. You know what I mean? And for me, sometimes it's cool to be able to see them live out their dream. You know what I mean? I'll be honest, I don't follow too much as far as the sport of baseball outside of the Blue Claws. But man, whenever I see a game on TV and I see somebody that started where we were, it puts a smile on my face. It's awesome for these kids to be able to achieve these dreams. And at some point, I'd like to think the majority of us that are working in this industry had dreams of being there. You know what I mean? Being that player. And for them to actually achieve it is absolutely incredible. And to kind of be along on that ride is pretty fun.
And another thing that I love about minor league baseball is when people will come up, and maybe this is their first game, and they say, where's a good seat? Like, they'll look at the seat map and they'll be trying to pick a place, and they'll say, oh man, that's all the way down the first baseline and or whatever. And you have to say, no, you don't understand. That seat would cost $150 at a Major League Baseball stadium, and you're getting it for $9 here or $7. Like, you are so close to the action that it's kind of hard to comprehend, because it doesn't even translate when you look at the map outside the stadium, that every seat there is a box seat at a Major League Baseball stadium. And the kids have access to these players, like you mentioned. They get to walk up and get an autograph, which just isn't feasible even for the kindest, most fan-friendly players in Major League Baseball. They just can't sign that many autographs for everybody. I live in the Tampa Bay area, and famously, Brett Phillips, when he was with the Rays, was huge into signing. Every game he signed for people, but every day that line got cut off at some point because they have to start the game. But in minor league baseball, kids will grab a ball and they'll go up and it will be covered in signatures by the end of that game. And that is not only great entertainment for the night, but that's inspiration for them moving forward. Maybe it helps them stick with baseball because one day they want to be one of those guys. Maybe it doesn't make them want to stick with baseball as a player, but maybe they just develop that fandom that goes with them through their entire lives. And both of those, I think, are very productive. It is just a completely different atmosphere. So, Jim, what are some of the things that the Jersey Shore Blue Claws do on a weekly, on a homestand basis, not just Irish Heritage Night or Marvel Night, but some of the things that people can get consistently that really separate the Blue Claws from other experiences?
We're going to put on a good show every night, and it's going to be fairly consistent but different. We have a lot of different things we can do to entertain the fans that, again, is outside of the playing lines. We have weekly promotions that we roll out every week. On Thursdays, we do $2 Thirsty Thursdays, $2 beers for Thirsty Thursdays. Every Friday night, starting in June after the game, there's post-game fireworks. There's a number of Saturdays where we'll have a band play in the sandbar, like the Snakes on Irish Heritage Night. Sundays, we do Kids Eat for free. If you're part of the kids club, you get a free hot dog, chips, and a soda when you come to one of those games. And then sprinkling in other theme nights. We have a Star Wars night later this year. We have a Grateful Dead night that we'll be doing later this year. So fan appreciation night's another big one. Military night. There's a lot of different things that we incorporate to bring people out to the ballpark that might not necessarily come.
And people hearing Jersey Shore, you're in Lakewood, New Jersey. What does being in Lakewood, New Jersey bring to the experience? What is special about that community? Do you find that you're getting a lot of people who are on vacation, they're going to the Jersey Shore for vacation, and they make a ball game part of their trip? Or is this the locals who are kind of sick of dealing with the people who are coming in from out of town, so they like to sort of have this sense of community and this place where they can meet up with other people who live there all year long?
So it's both. I mean, we have a great, I'll say, year-round community made up of all the towns in the shore area, which is kind of between two counties here in New Jersey, Monmouth and Ocean County, and we draw a lot from all over the shore. Rob mentioned all the little leagues, the schools, the nonprofits we work with. But then also once we get into the summer months, we're about 8 to 10 miles from the beach. We get a lot of people that are coming down here for vacation. And this was my vacation growing up. I only grew up about 45 minutes from here, but this is where our vacation was. We spent 2 weeks down the shore. I love the fact that now this is kind of where I work. I work on where I went on vacation for, my whole life. So, but yeah, we do get a lot of people that are on vacation down here for a week, 2 weeks, renting a house at the shore, and they're gonna come see us a night or two while they're away. So it's really both. I mean, we do I think we do a pretty good and not great job of engaging the local community year round, but then it's making sure that the folks that are here for vacation want to come check out a game as well.
Rob McGillick and Jim McNamara, thank you so much for joining us on the Irish Baseball Podcast. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. This was fun.
Thanks a lot, Rick. We appreciate it.
The Jersey Shore Blue Claws will hold their Irish Heritage Night on June 10th. I'm Rick Becker, and I will be back once again next week for my third straight week with an episode of the Irish Baseball Podcast. We will hear my conversation with Ryan O'Rourke, former Major League pitcher and current member of the Irish Wolfhounds. O'Rourke and the Wolfhounds will take on the NYPD Finest Baseball Club on June 17th in Rockland County, New York. Tickets are going fast, so head to irishbaseball.org to get yours. This has been episode 62 of the Irish Baseball Podcast.